So one of my favorite things about grazing through the winter, and these cattle, I think we fed a few bales here in a real cold spell we had, 15, 20 days ago. We fed for a couple of days, but this farm we haven't fed much hay. The other farms are totally different. You pull up with any of the stuff that you've been feeding with, the escape I feed with when it's real cold and frozen on top and not real slick. The truck, of course, when it's need the four-wheel drive and the horsepower to get around, or the tractor or the side-by-side, whatever it is, those cows, they come up and they come bawling, they come straight to you. Now these cows, if you leave them in this paddock for a few more days, they'll still do that. They like to move, and they get hungry too. You can see we came off of this paddock here. This is one we came off of right before Christmas. And then they've been in two more paddocks here, and we're leaving them in there. I don't like to leave them anywhere more than 4 days. It's probably a day or two too many, but what I've heard and what I've learned is that they're rumen to be active and have good microbial life going on in their rumen. You need to feed those bacteria protein every 4 days, every 3 to 4 days. And so a lot of people, they'll feed, like a protein supplement or something like that, or every 4 days they'll go out and they'll feed soybean meal or something like that to keep that microbial life going. But when we rotate, we continue to do that. We've got good grass here. We haven't grazed this since, I think, October, and it's January 1st now. But you can see these cattle are just out here. They're enjoying this beautiful day. It's 38 degrees. I put my long johns on and then realized I was hot, so I had to take my hoodie off. They're just comfortable. It's just what I love to see. They're not coming up, they're not bawling, they're not pushing on me. And again, if I leave them on here too long, they'll eventually get to where they want to do that. But this is where we want them to be. When they're coming up and pushing hard and they all start bawling at you, you waited a little too long usually, or you've been feeding hay and they realize that you're the feed guy, and if we bawl at you, you're going to get fed. So I much prefer cattle being like this as compared to cattle coming up and just being, they called it, in Ranching for Profit, they called it sad brown eye syndrome. And what that basically means is when you're feeding hay, the cows know that every time they bawl, you're going to feed them, so they're going to bawl all the time. But when they're still out here working and feeding themselves, they're a lot more comfortable. I'm a lot more comfortable. I kind of tell a little bit more, when they're ready to go. And the main thing that I use, the tool that I use to determine that, whether we're feeding hay or we're feeding on pasture, is we want to look at the manure patties. And you can see this one here. It's not loose, it's not runny, and you're probably not going to get that this time of year. You will see that a lot in the spring because as the grass gets green, it gets a lot of protein in it, starts growing quickly, gets a lot of energy, a lot of nutrients, and the cows can't process that much protein. And so they're pushing it out the back. So that means they'd have a real loose patty. But a patty that's real tall, gets 2, 3, 4 inches, that's a lack of protein. You need to move those cattle faster, provide some supplement. But this patty here looks about right to me. It's about 1.5 inches. It's got kind of a puddle in the middle. I'll flip you around and take a picture of it. But that to me is a good sign, a better sign that these cattle are just comfortable. They're out here enjoying the beautiful sunshine that we've got today. We're getting ready to have a cold spell. This is probably the calm before the storm, but this is what we want to see. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Like, subscribe, follow for more. We appreciate you.